Your mind is lying to you. Every single day, it whispers it's too early to get up. It tells you you're too tired to start. It convinces you you've done enough when you've barely scratched the surface. That voice, it sounds reasonable. It speaks in your own tone, using your own thoughts. And that's the problem. You trust it. David Goggins will tell you straight. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you have, but from the moment you're born, it's pointed at you, not for you. It's your biggest enemy dressed up as your best friend. I remember him saying once, the mind has one job: to protect you. But protection isn't strength. Protection is comfort, and comfort will bury you alive. See, the mind doesn't care about your goals, your dreams, or the person you could become. It only cares about keeping you safe in the short term. And safe means avoiding anything that feels hard, uncomfortable, or threatening. That's why you can want something so badly: the perfect body, the business, the discipline, the life you dream about, and still sabotage yourself the second it gets uncomfortable. The second it hurts, the second it feels scary. Think about it. How many times have you set the alarm for 5 a.m., ready to work out, only to hit snooze because your brain convinced you one more hour won't hurt? How many diets have you started only to quit because it's not realistic right now? How many dreams have you shelved because it's probably not the right time? Your mind is a master negotiator. It's spent decades learning how to sell you the easy way out, and it knows exactly which words will make you buy it. Goggins calls it the path of least resistance, and most people live their whole lives walking it. Never see what's beyond the point where their body says enough. They never train their mind to obey. But here's the raw truth he learned the hard way. If you don't control your mind, it will control you, and it will kill every dream you ever had. When Goggins was at his lowest, 300 pounds, spraying cockroaches for a living, broke and depressed, his mind wasn't pushing him to change. It was protecting him from change, protecting him from the pain of failure, from the humiliation of starting over, from the discomfort of becoming someone new. And here's the kicker: that same protection was the exact thing keeping him stuck in a life he hated. One night, after watching a Navy SEAL documentary, he saw it. Those men didn't just have strong bodies, they had minds that obeyed. Minds that took orders without complaint. Minds that didn't negotiate with weakness. And that's when it hit him. The problem isn't the body, the problem is the mind. You can push a body far beyond what you think, but only if the mind doesn't quit first. From that moment, he knew if he wanted to change his life, he had to break his mind. Not in the way most people think. Not by damaging it, but by taking control of it. By turning it from his worst enemy into his most dangerous weapon. Now here's what most people get wrong about mind control. They think it's about staying calm. They think it's about positive affirmations, breathing exercises, repeating "I can do this" in the mirror. That might work for staying peaceful, but it's useless when your body is screaming, your lungs are on fire, and your legs feel like lead. Mind control, the Goggins way, is about command. It's about giving your mind a direct order and making sure it follows, no matter how much it protests. No matter how much it protests, no matter how much it hates you for it in the moment. Because here's the thing, the mind respects one thing: discipline enforced through action. You don't train the mind in comfort. You train it in the moments you want to quit. You train it by doing the thing you absolutely don't want to do and doing it anyway, over and over again. When Goggins started, it wasn't about massive overnight changes. It was about micro battles, choosing the gym over the couch, running in the rain instead of waiting for sunshine, waking up at 4 a.m. when 6 a.m. would have been good enough. Each time, he wasn't training his body, he was training his mind to obey. The first thing he learned, your mind will fight you like hell. It will scream, it will throw every excuse it has at you. It will tell you it's dangerous, it will tell you you're not ready, it will remind you of every time you failed before. That's why Goggins says, the mind is a beast. You either own it or it owns you. So here's where we start in this journey. Before you can use the trick, before you can flip the switch from weakness to strength, you have to see the enemy clearly. Not the enemy outside you, not the boss, the economy, the people who doubted you. The enemy is the voice in your head that says, you can stop now. You've done enough. Take it easy. That voice is the reason most people never become who they could be. It's the reason talent dies untested. It's the reason people go to their graves with regret. And until you declare war on that voice, nothing changes. David Goggins lived with that voice for 24 years. It told him he was too heavy to run. He agreed. It told him he wasn't smart enough to change. He agreed. It told him this is just life, and he accepted it. Until one night, something cracked. He was in his chair, sinking deeper into the cushions, a box of donuts in his lap, the TV humming in the background. On the screen, a Navy SEAL documentary. Men standing waist-deep in freezing surf, shivering, covered in mud, doing push-ups until they collapsed, and then doing more. They weren't just strong, they owned their minds. No negotiations, no shortcuts. Just one order: keep going. And for the first time in years, that voice in his head went quiet. Not in peace, in shame, because deep down, he knew. He was the opposite of those men. That silence didn't feel comforting. It felt like an accusation. And in that sting, something shifted, not slow, not gentle, but violent, raw. He stood up, heart pounding, not from effort, but from fear. Not fear of pain, fear of staying the same. In the mirror, he didn't see a victim anymore. He saw the jailer, the one who'd been feeding himself lies to stay safe. And right there, he made the call. The mind's not going to run me. I'm going to run it. No long-term plan, no vision board, no waiting for motivation, just one immediate, brutal test. Wake up before sunrise and run 4 miles. He hated running. That's exactly why he chose it. 4:30 a.m., the alarm goes off. The voice comes back instantly. It's cold, you're too heavy, start tomorrow. But this time, he didn't listen. He answered, flat and hard, get up. No thinking, no bargaining, just moving. The run was ugly. His lungs burned, his legs felt like lead. Every step, the voice begged him to stop. He didn't try to silence it, he let it talk, and kept running. When he came back, it wasn't the distance that mattered. It was this. For the first time, his mind had obeyed. From there, he stacked small wins, running in the rain, studying when tired, training when no one was watching. The voice never disappeared. It still whispered excuses, but control was no longer in its hands. The wind started small, rain on the pavement, he'd still lace up. Eyes burning from exhaustion, he'd still open the book. An empty gym with no one to watch, he'd still train. At first, it was about proving he could give an order to his mind and have it obey. But soon he noticed something else. Every time he pushed through discomfort, the next time, it was just a little easier. Because his brain was starting to recognize the pattern. The old wiring said pain means stop, discomfort means danger. He was reprogramming it to say pain means go, discomfort means grow. This wasn't motivation anymore. Motivation doesn't show up in the rain. It doesn't crawl out of bed at 4 in the morning. What he was building was a reflex. And here's the thing about reflexes, they bypass negotiation. That's what he wanted for his mind, to hear the voice say stop and move anyway. It started with tiny acts of defiance against comfort. turning the shower handle to cold and staying there until the body stopped shivering. Running an extra mile after the point he'd already decided to stop, holding the plank until his arms shook like they were breaking. Every time he ignored the voice, he was telling his mind, "I'm in charge now. Your opinion doesn't decide my action." Using pain, that's how you win. If you want your mind to obey you when it matters most, when the stakes are high, when the crowd is gone, when no one's watching, you have to train it in the dark. Where there's no applause, no finish line, only the choice to keep going or quit. And every time you keep going, you're not just moving forward, you're cutting new paths in your brain. Paths that say, when it hurts, we don't stop. When it's hard, we push harder. That's not motivation, that's mind control.